have more updates in the ongoing WNBA-CBA negotiations, and there is a brand new wrinkle to the storyline as it's been reported that there is a Saudi-backed basketball league that will be kicking off next season, and this could truly change everything.
The WNBA is facing a major shakeup, not from rivalries or drama, but from a powerful new threat. A Saudi-backed super league called Project B is preparing to launch, reportedly offering women's basketball stars staggering deals worth between $50 to $100 million. These life-changing offers are luring top talent away, sparking a crisis the WNBA may struggle to match, both financially and competitively.
The new basketball venture was founded by former Google and Facebook executive Grady Burnett and his friend Jeff Prentice, co-founder of Skype. It's set to begin with the Women's Basketball League in large part because of the immense growth and interest in the sport. It will feature 6 teams of 11 players, each that play 7 two-week tournaments in cities across Asia, Europe, and the Americas, and it's already 2 years in the
The move has caught Cathy Engelbert and WNBA executives off guard, arriving at a time when they're already dealing with tough CBA negotiations and growing player unrest. Now, with rumors swirling that several star players may jump ship, one question looms large. Is this the beginning of the end for the WNBA as we know it? If Project B succeeds, it won't just transform women's basketball, it could redefine the entire future of sports.
Thing with these Saudi-backed leagues is they just have the money. They have the money, and it doesn't seem like they're so worried about the outcome or the viewership or kind of the return in investment that they get. It seems like they just want to be a part of these major sports, and they're willing to throw crazy bags at these top players who they clearly have a lot of value.
When news first broke about Project B, many brushed it off as just another rumor, another doomed alternative league. But within days, insiders confirmed it was far more serious. This wasn't some vague startup concept. It was a fully funded, Saudi-backed global league 2 years in the making, with major investors, top executives, and former players already on board. The game is about to change.
A former WNBA star, Elena Beard, will also serve as the chief basketball officer, and among the growing list of investors and advisors are some big names like Candace Parker, Steve Young, Novak Djokovic, and Sloane Stephens. The new league will be headquartered in Singapore.
The concept was simple but revolutionary. Launch a high-paying women's basketball league that would travel across continents, hosting tournaments in Asia, Europe, and the Americas. This wasn't just about competition, it was about establishing dominance, powered by vast Saudi funding. The financial scale dwarfed anything the WNBA could ever offer. Reports revealed that former Google executive Grady Burnett and Skype co-founder Jeff Ennis were leading the charge. But they weren't alone. Project B had already built a powerhouse team of advisors and executives, including former WNBA All-Star Alana Beard as chief basketball officer. Joining her were global sports icons like Candace Parker, Steve Young, Novak Djokovic, and Sloane Stephens, each serving in advisory or investor roles. With names like these, Project B gained instant legitimacy. This wasn't some speculative idea, it was real and moving fast. But what truly shook the WNBA wasn't just the ambition, it was the money. Reports suggested Project B was offering salaries up to 10 times higher than what players currently earn, and that's a conservative estimate. Internal documents reportedly listed stars like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Aya Wilson as top targets to headline its debut season.
Been numbers that have kind of been thrown around on what kind of contracts they could offer some of these players, and 50 million was one of the numbers that they could reportedly throw at a player like Caitlin Clark. Project B will employ 66 players, and if they increase salaries 10 times, which would be extremely low given the Saudi fund, how will players who make $150,000 in the WNBA turn down $1.5 million?
Imagine being offered $50 million to play a shorter season, travel the world, and live with 5-star treatment. Suddenly, loyalty to the WNBA was no longer guaranteed. Once those numbers began circulating among players, panic reportedly rippled through the league's front office. Cathy Engelbert, already under pressure from stalled CBA negotiations, now faced a far greater threat, one that no amount of PR, sponsorships, or goodwill could fix. a future the league simply couldn't afford.
I could see them going after players like Caitlyn, like Angel, like Paige, like Asia. Could you imagine what would happen to the WNBA if they get some of the WNBA's biggest?
How do you compete with a league that can outspend you 100 times over? For many players, especially veterans nearing retirement, the Saudi-backed league offered more than just a paycheck. It promised financial freedom. The WNBA's biggest fear wasn't just losing players, but losing its stars, the faces that made the league marketable. Imagine the impact if Caitlin Clark, the most-watched rookie in WNBA history, suddenly vanished from the schedule to headline an international tour. The fallout wouldn't just hurt. It would shake the very foundation of the league.
Who knows, maybe $200 million to a player like Caitlin Clark? Is there an amount of money that is just too big to pass up? Is it something where Caitlin Clark takes that massive paycheck, she skips the WNBA season for a year, and then you kind of see what her true value is in the WNBA?
The ripple effect on ratings, sponsorships, and fan loyalty could be devastating. At first, some WNBA executives brushed off Project B as harmless, assuming it would operate only during the off-season. But that illusion faded fast. What followed made it clear this wasn't a side venture. It was a direct threat to the WNBA's future. That's when concern turned into panic, and the league finally realized it was under serious pressure.
I do actually think that this could be a big threat to the WNBA, especially if the CBA negotiations continue going in the way that they're going, and at the end of this CBA, the women are still not making what they would hope to earn in this league. It's also interesting how much Adam Silver has started stepping into these conversations around the WNBA CBA. It seems like he is going to do whatever he possibly can to stop a lockout from happening.
Project B didn't just signal competition. It marked a seismic power shift in global sports. For years, Saudi Arabia has made its ambitions clear: to dominate the athletic world. From golf to soccer, the kingdom has poured billions into building prestige, recruiting stars, and redefining what athletes can earn. The LIV Golf League was the first warning shot, when legends like Phil Mickelson and Dustin Johnson accepted nine-figure deals to leave the PGA. Critics scoffed, but no one was laughing when LIV forced a desperate PGA merger. Then came soccer. Global icons like Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar were handed contracts worth hundreds of millions for just a few seasons. A clear pattern emerged. Saudi money wasn't just buying into sports, it was reshaping them entirely. And now, that same formula is being applied to women's basketball. The numbers are staggering. Imagine Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's most-watched rookie and face of the league, earning under $100,000 in base salary, suddenly being offered $50 million for one season in Project B. Even the highest-paid WNBA stars, like Breanna Stewart and Aya Wilson, top out around $250,000 to $300,000 before endorsements. It's not just a tough fight, it's financially unwinnable. Players who once balanced WNBA seasons with grueling overseas schedules just to make ends meet are now being promised generational wealth for a few months of basketball. That's the appeal of Project B. It's not asking players to give up their dreams. It's offering the dream they were promised, finally paid in full. 7 to 12 tournaments across global cities. 5-star accommodations. Broadcast production on par with top-tier international events. This isn't survival, it's stardom. And for athletes who've spent their careers fighting for fair pay and recognition, it feels almost poetic, finally being valued like their male counterparts. Inside WNBA headquarters, the mood shifted fast. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and the Board of Governors reportedly held emergency calls to assess the growing threat. If Project B lured even a handful of marquee stars, it could trigger a chain reaction. Sponsors might follow, media attention could shift, and ongoing CBA negotiations would lose leverage as players realized they had a far more lucrative alternative. Sources say NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is closely monitoring the situation. He understands the stakes. These same Saudi investors nearly disrupted the NBA's Middle East dominance until Silver forged partnerships in Dubai and Abu Dhabi to keep them close. But this time, it may be different. The WNBA doesn't have billion-dollar reserves or long-term loyalty contracts. It's a league built on vision, progress, and community, not petrodollars. So when Project V began formal outreach to the league's brightest stars, the writing wasn't just on the wall, it was flashing in neon.